Good morning and thanks for watching this video. This is part 3 of our presidential tax return walkthrough. These are just fun videos to take a look at what some of the candidates and related folks are doing tax-wise. It is Monday morning here in Nashville, and we're going to look at Joe Biden's tax returns today, and then we'll do one more for President Trump of at least what's available of his returns. These are non-audited, from what we know, returns, and these we don't even know if these have been actually filed the way they are reported on this public website. But again, the point of this is just to have fun. So let's take a look at Joe Biden's tax returns. He's obviously been extremely transparent. We have 20 years of tax returns available. He promptly put his 2019 returns up on this website. Let me zoom this in a little more, and let's just have a little fun. Looks like interesting. Not a lot of people do this, but he did elect to take $3 from his tax and put it towards the presidential election campaign fund. So that's pretty cool. Not too many people do that. Total income, adjusted gross income, is a little under $1 million for him and his wife Jill. We're going to dive into some of these things. We could see that between them they have a generous pension of about $186,000, and they have 85% of their Social Security benefit is taxable. So we know that Social Security benefits start off not being taxable, but if your income increases, then they become taxable. The maximum amount is 85% of your, so 85% of their Social Security is taxable. Couple things that are interesting. We're going to talk on Schedule B, Schedule A. They did itemize their deductions, and so they have $40,000 worth of deductions. They did not take the 199A or qualified business income deduction, most likely because they were phased out due to income. So, you know, as a tax planner, that kind of bums me out, but that's all right. They definitely showed about $945,000 worth of taxable income. With self-employment tax, their total tax for the year was about $300,000 on the federal tax side. So they had plenty of withholding here. And they also made some estimated tax payments, so they were able to get a refund on their tax return, but the total tax, it was about $300,000 on the federal return. Schedule 1 shows their different income. We're going to dive into what that means here on the S Corps. They do own 2 S corporations, which they were taking salary from and had a profit. So a little bit of business entity selection planning, which I could appreciate. Let's roll through here. Itemized deductions, as you know, SALT tax, state and local income tax, is capped at $10,000. So unfortunately, even though they paid a significant amount in state and local taxes, about $111,000, only $10,000 is deductible. Looks like they have a mortgage, not sure on what property, of about $16,000 in mortgage interest, so that is deductible. And it looks like they made some gifts to charity, about $15,000, and those are deductible. As far as this is what was really interesting to me on Schedule B. This is all bank interest, which is really typical. Obviously, has some life insurance policies that's kicking off interest, and some a bank that they have some accounts with, but they don't have any dividends, which means that it appears they don't have any brokerage accounts that kick off dividends, and they didn't have any capital gains. So it doesn't look like they at least have a lot of money in the stock market or any outside of retirement accounts. Because if you had dividends or capital gains, they would appear, or capital gain distributions, the dividends would appear here on Schedule B, and then we'd have a Schedule D for capital gains and losses. So that just implies nothing that this, if I saw any taxpayer, could be Joe Smith taxpayer. In this situation, they're very conservative with investing. 2 S Corps, so they do have about $228,000 worth of net income coming from S Corps. They are both in Jill Biden's name, and I know that because I don't know that. I'm sorry. S Corp. I know that these entities are S Corps. We're gonna show you something else in a second here, but they are, so those are net income from the S Corp, $229,000. And then in addition, when you have an S Corp, you do have to take a reasonable compensation from the S Corporation, and we can see that they both did take a significant amount of compensation from the S Corp. What I'm doing is I'm scrolling down, and this is kind of a list of all of their W-2 wages. So even though their total income was between $900 and $1 million. A good portion of it came from W-2s, so we can see the S, that stands for Jill. She's a teacher, so she gets paid, got paid for teaching. She also got paid from her S Corp about $200,000 of income. Interestingly enough, almost all of it was federal tax. So it seems like they did some tax planning here, maybe at the end of the year figured out how much they thought they were going to owe, and then made sure that they had enough withholding on their W-2 to avoid any type of penalty. Not sure, again, this is just guessing. And then Joe Biden has his Pennsylvania, state of Pennsylvania W-2 wages, and also the Celtic Capri Corp, which is another corp, has W-2 wages. So when you have all of those wages, what happens is you actually are overfunding your Social Security, and you get a credit for that on your tax return. So that's right here, excess Social Security. So if you have multiple employers that you're funding Social Security and you're over the wage limit, then you do get a refund of that overpayment. So all in all, considering this is a really vanilla tax return, obviously we don't have the S Corp returns. Appreciate that they uploaded it for this fun analysis, and I hope you have an awesome day. Thanks for watching. I think we're going to look at Donald Trump's next.